In the village of Idwama, people said the rain had a soul. It was not just water falling from the heavens. It was memory, washing away pain, whispering to those who had forgotten how to listen. Every season, when thunder rolled and the sky cracked open like an angry drum, old women would say, "The gods are singing again." And among those who listened most closely was a girl named Amara, whose voice could calm the storm, but whose life was itself a gathering tempest. Amara was born during a downpour. They said the rain paused for one heartbeat when she cried for the first time, as if the sky itself leaned closer to listen. Her mother, Neka, called her "my little rainbird." Her father, Obinna, built her a small rattle carved from Iroko wood and said, "May your hands always make sound, even in silence." She grew into a girl whose beauty made even the priest forget his chants. But it wasn't her face that held people. It was her kindness. She spoke softly, walked barefoot so as not to crush ants, and helped the market women carry water when the sun burned too hot. When she sang, children stopped playing, goats stopped bleating, and sometimes, just sometimes, clouds gathered above, as though the rain waited for her permission. But when Amara was 8, her mother died, a fever that came in the night and took her before dawn. Her father remarried a woman named Madame Obi, who arrived with her own daughter, Adise. Obi's face was smooth as palm oil, her smile too quick, her eyes too sharp. And though she greeted Amara with honeyed words, her heart carried something darker. At first, all was well. Obi plaited Amara's hair, called her "my dear child," and praised her voice. But in time, she saw what others saw, the way the villagers adored Amara, how even elders blessed her when she passed, how the young men forgot their tasks when she laughed, and jealousy, that slow, sweet poison, began its work. Life in Idwama was simple. The men farmed, the women traded in the market, the children fetched water from the stream. But inside Obinna's compound, peace had turned to smoke. Small things began to go missing. Amara's scarf, her sandals, a beaded necklace her mother had left behind. Each time she asked, Madame Obi shrugged. Maybe if you stopped dreaming, you would stop losing. Adisa would giggle behind her mother's wrapper. One morning, Amara found her golden rattle, her father's gift, broken into 2. She said nothing, just swept the pieces into her palm and hid them under her mat. But her silence was not weakness. It was survival. Then came the day a royal messenger arrived. He rode through the village square on a white horse. His robe trimmed with the crest of Prince Ikena of Enugu, he unrolled a scroll, his voice carrying like thunder. By decree of His Highness, a grand festival shall be held to choose the next queen. All maidens of age are invited to attend. The air trembled. Women ululated. Girls screamed. The market erupted into song. Even Madame Obi's face bloomed with ambition. Adisa's eyes sparkled. "Mama, maybe the prince will see me." Obi smiled tightly, but her gaze slid to Amara, who stood quietly by the well, her face lit by the afternoon sun. That gentle glow stirred something cruel inside the stepmother. "No," she whispered. "He will not see you. Not again." The night before the festival, Amara sat beneath the mango tree, sewing the only fine cloth she owned, a simple ash-colored wrapper she had saved for years. Her hands moved slowly, lovingly, as if each stitch was a dream reborn. Across the courtyard, Madame Obi watched from the shadows, eyes like coals. Later that night, when the house fell silent, she crept into Amara's room. The moon spilled through the thatch roof, painting the mat in silver. Amara slept peacefully, her long black hair spread across her pillow like spilled ink. In Obi's hand gleamed a pair of rusted scissors. She leaned close, her breath sour with hatred. "If I cannot destroy your spirit, I will destroy your beauty," she hissed. Snip. A strand fell to the mat. Snip, snip, snip. Hair fell like feathers, soft and dark, until Amara's head was a battlefield of broken pieces and cruel patches. Obi smiled. "Let's see if the prince wants a girl who looks like a plucked chicken." And she left. When Amara woke, her hand went to her head and froze. The mirror on the wall reflected a stranger. She touched her scalp, the uneven tufts, the cruel scars. Her breath came shallow. For a long time, she said nothing. No tears, no screams. Then, slowly, She reached for the scarf her mother had left her, blue with faded gold thread. She tied it carefully around her head, each knot steady as a prayer. She looked at her reflection again and whispered, "You may take my hair, but you cannot take my song," barefoot. She stepped into the night and walked away, past the yam fields, past the sleeping goats, into the forest. Deep beyond the palms lived a woman named Mama Nkichi, older than memory, feared and respected. Some said she spoke to trees. Others swore she turned storms away with her hands. When Amara reached her hut, she fell to her knees. "She took it," she whispered. "My hair, my pride, my chance?" Nkichi opened the door before the girl could finish. The old woman's face was wrinkled like bark, her eyes calm as still water. She said nothing, only placed a hand on Amara's head. The fire crackled. Crickets sang. Silence wrapped around them like a shawl. Finally, Nkichi spoke. "When the lioness walks into the forest, the trees do not ask about her mane. Oh, they part because they feel her power." She untied Amara's scarf gently and smiled. "They tried to humble you with shame," she said. "But shame fears women who rise." From a small gourd, she brought out palm oil, cowries, and thread. Together, they braided what was left of Amara's hair, tight, defiant rows, whispering strength with every curve. No gold, no jewels, only beads carved from bone and wood, gifts of women who had survived worse. When they were done, Nkichi handed her a small mirror. Amara looked, and for the first time, did not seek beauty. She sought herself. What she saw wasn't broken. It was a flame, low, steady, unyielding. Nkichi pressed something into her hand. A single cowrie shell. "This," she said, "is your crown." "Wear it in your soul," Amara bowed. Then she rose, barefoot and unafraid. "I will go," she said softly. The palace of Enugu glittered like the inside of the sun. Drums thundered. Lanterns floated like fireflies. Perfume, laughter, silk, and arrogance filled the air. Dozens of maidens paraded before the prince, gowns shimmering, smiles painted, voices trembling. Each curtsied, spun, and waited for his gaze to linger, but his eyes were dull. His heart was not moved, and then the music changed. The guards at the door shifted uncertainly as a barefoot girl stepped inside. Her dress was ash gray, hand-stitched. Her head was crowned with short, beaded cornrows that gleamed like quiet thunder. She did not bow. She walked. Every step was deliberate, steady, not pleading but declaring, "I am here. I have already survived the fire." Whispers erupted like insects. "Who let her in?" "She looks like a boy. Did she come to beg?" Laughter rippled, but Amara did not flinch. Her chin remained high. Her bare feet kissed the marble as if it had been laid for her alone. At the top of the staircase, Prince Ikenna watched, breath caught. He had seen 50 girls that night, each dazzling, each empty. But this one, barefoot, unadorned, walked like she carried thunder in her chest. He stood. The hall fell silent. Across the room, a noble girl in gold silk sneered. Maybe she cut her hair for attention. Poor thing. So desperate to be seen. Laughter again. Sharp, cruel, cutting. And then a voice, strong and calm, broke through. "I disagree." Every head turned. The prince descended the stairs, his eyes never leaving Amara's. "She is the most beautiful woman here," he said, his voice echoing like truth. Not because of her dress, not because of her hair, but because she walked in anyway. A hush. A heartbeat. Then he extended his hand. "May I have this dance?" Amara hesitated. Her gaze drifted, and there, at the far end of the hall, hidden among nobles, stood Madame Obi, her face pale, her lips trembling, a ghost watching her own curse unravel. Their eyes met. No words. None were needed. Then Amara turned back to the prince and smiled. "Yes," she whispered. "Let's dance." When their hands met, something ancient shifted in the air. The drums softened, the flutes sighed. Even the rain, waiting outside the palace walls, seemed to listen. They moved together, slow and sure. Her bare feet traced rhythms older than kingdoms. His steps followed, reverent, alive. And as they danced, Amara began to hum, low at first, then rising, filling the hall like a warm tide. The melody was not of this world. It was the song her mother used to sing during storms. The courtiers froze. The guards lowered their spears. The nobles bowed their heads. Outside, thunder rolled. Rain burst from the sky, heavy, healing, holy. When the last note faded, the hall erupted. Cheers, ululations, tears. But Amara didn't hear them. Her eyes closed. Her heart whispered, "Mama, can you see me?" Weeks passed. Rumors spread like wildfire. And one morning, the royal drum sounded 3 times. The signal of decree. The messenger read aloud. By command of His Highness, Prince Ekena of Enugu, the future queen of this land shall be Amara of Idwama. The village exploded with joy. Drummers played until their hands bled. Women danced in circles. Children chanted her name, and Madame Obi? She did not scream. She did not beg. She simply disappeared, like smoke after rain. No one asked where she went. No one cared. Bitterness has no throne here. The woman who sang to the storm years, later, when rain fell over Idwama. People swore they could hear a voice in it, soft, strong, unbroken. Children would look up at the palace hill, where Queen Amara stood beneath the clouds, her face lifted to the sky, her scarf replaced by a crown of gold and bone. Every time lightning flashed, she would smile and whisper, "I am not afraid. I was born from the storm." And somewhere, deep in the forest, Mama Nikichi's fire still burned, steady as memory, bright as truth. Epilogue. The lesson of Amara old women now tell the story like a prayer. Once, there was a girl who was broken, but she rose. They tried to cut her down, but she grew roots instead. Her tears watered the soil of her strength. Her silence sang louder than drums. And her scars, they became her crown. Because sometimes, when they try to destroy your beauty, they only reveal your power.